Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy, and I'm here again with Sunday Book Club in the run up to Christmas with a few picks that might help you with your book buying list if you're Christmas shopping this year. And I wanted to start off with a couple that might really suit difficult to buy for blokes who could be on your Christmas list, but not just blokes. These two books were recommended to me in the summer by a friend who was visiting. Thank you, Jimmy. And they actually are books that I've read myself and loved. So not just blokes, could be anybody. Have a listen and see whether you can think of somebody who would really like these books. The first one is called Featherhood, and it's by Charlie Gilmore. And some of us who are based in the UK may remember a news item from, well over a decade ago, I would say, of an unruly student running amok by the cenotaph and causing all sorts of trouble, getting on the news and ending up going to prison for what he did. And that person is Charlie Gilmore, who has written this memoir. Charlie got in the news, I think, because he happened to be the stepson of a famous pop star. But the story is not so much about that, but about his real father, who was Heathcote Williams, the author of an epic poem, Whale Nation, that I remember reading in the 80s, and a lot of many of us might be familiar with. But Heathcote Williams wasn't the perfect father. So, you know, Charlie's going through all these growing up problems and trying all the time to connect with his dad. In the story, he has a pet. Well, it's not a story. In the memoir, he has a pet magpie. And I love that because obviously my book Forever Phoenix has a magpie in the story. I just love the way that Charlie writes, and I think he's very honest in the way that he approaches this memoir. It is about being a father, being a son, and yeah, loving crazy, insane corvids like the magpie in this. But I think it's something that could really appeal if you know someone who doesn't particularly like fiction but likes to read. Featherhood could well be the thing for them. So the other book that that was recommended to me by Jimmy is this one. It's The Swordfish and the Star by Gavin Knight, and again, it's non-fiction. What it is, it's a series of stories and tales recounted by fishermen on the coast of Cornwall, all around the Cornish coast. And it's about their lives, it's about the trials and tribulations, the happy, sad, and dramatic times that they've encountered in what is obviously a really difficult lifestyle, a difficult career to have followed. I was particularly attracted to this because my daughter lives on the Cornish coast and lives on a boat, so it was very interesting to me. But I actually think so many people would love this. One, because it gives you an insight into a world that is all but disappearing. It's so honest, it's so truthful, and it's just almost like you're sitting in a pub in Cornwall on the Cornish coast on a blustery night, listening to these old guys telling you their stories. And it's such a privilege to hear those stories and be a part of the world that they have been a part of. So I think The Swordfish and the Star could be a perfect present, perhaps, for somebody. So I'm going from two perhaps lesser known books that I've just described to this one, Millie Johnson's I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, which is absolutely zapping through the bestseller list right now, and with very good reason. Millie, I think, is a very underrated writer, as many chick lit writers are. Okay, chick lit is one of those terms that I think people imagine. I don't know, they maybe imagine a chick lit story isn't serious, isn't as good as other books. Sometimes they can be better, 100 times better. Millie is an absolute master of the craft. Her books are full of humanity, full of honesty, full of humour. Yes, there's romance in there too, and who doesn't like a little bit of that? And this is just packed with happy Christmas feelings that will just make you feel so good. So perfect present for someone to get them in the Christmas mood, or help them enjoy that Christmas season. also will make you laugh out loud. Millie has a really brilliant sense of humour, sometimes a very cheeky sense of humour. And, you know, if you know somebody who quite likes to read but isn't 100% sure, Millie is guaranteed to hook that person in. And, you know, so easy to read, so very rewarding, and just full of all the good stuff in every way. So yeah, Millie Johnson's I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, a really top choice. Now, for my kind of, well, it's not really middle grade, I would say this is probably a YA book, Bone Music by David Almond. But it's not like any other YA book that you might have read. It's so different, you know, forget sort of high school intrigue and all that kind of thing. There's nothing, it's not dystopia, it's different from everything. David Almond, the most fantastic writer, again, full of humanity. And he just writes his own thing, his own style, full of power, full of strength, and a big swirl of history and intrigue and mystery in this story, Bone Music. It's a slow burn, it's quiet. Don't be, you know, don't expect it to grab you immediately. Persevere, because you will be hypnotized by this book. And yeah, that means I've read it too. I love it, not just for teenagers, but it's a beautiful story about nature and the countryside, and yes, saving the world and finding your place and fitting in, but done in such a quiet, beautiful manner. So David Almond, one of my absolute favourite authors. And I'm going to just finish off with a book that I have bought for 3 little boys who love pirates. And this is the book, okay? It is called The Pirate Cruncher, and it is by the fabulous Johnny Duddle, who I think used to be a pirate once. I've met him a few times and I'm pretty sure he was a pirate. Now, Johnny writes and illustrates these books, and they are such good stories, really gripping, and fantastic artwork as well. But I just love this one of the beautiful tall ship, a pirate ship with its Jolly Roger flag at the top. Johnny Duddle knows about pirates. He also knows a lot about children, because this is a kind of book that will become an absolute family favourite. It's one of several pirate books that Johnny has written. And yeah, I was just so happy to be able to get this, because I knew that these 3 little brothers are going to love this story. So those are my choices for today's Sunday Book Club. A little bit of something for everybody, but don't forget I will be back next week with a final roundup. And yeah, happy Christmas. I hope you're all getting into that Christmas spirit now. I am slightly. And just to let you know, if anybody tuned in last week, the Christmas cake worked. It came out of the oven, actually cake shaped and looking amazing. And I'm now at the stage where I get to actually pour little bits of brandy on it every week in the run up to Christmas Day to make sure it's as rich and gorgeous as it should be. So Christmas cake, a revelation, a whole new thing for me. But yeah, maybe I'll even try some mince pies before I speak to you next. Take care and see you soon on the next Sunday Book Club.